Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
All right, and good day, everyone. Nice to have you here for another deal reveal. And today we are going back to the sunny state of Florida to see if we can find a deal in this community once again. But before we do that, I'd like to do a quick shout out to the people on the call today. So we have Brian, nice to have you here. Darshan, David, Jared, Lenford. I just lost track because more people are coming in. Mark, Michael, Mike, Paul, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, I'm not sure, maybe both. Sandra, Theodora, nice to have you here, and everyone who's going to be listening into the recording and on our extended Facebook and YouTube family now. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Let's have some fun. I've got a few exciting announcements for you. First of all, I'm in the middle of a tornado warning right now, and I'm not even in Florida. I'm back in Canada, and we got a tornado warning about 3 hours ago. So it's looking all right now, but if I suddenly go blank and the horsemen of the apocalypse start to show up in your window, you know what happened. So we are there, and more exciting news. Last night, we actually did module 1 of a 15-module program called The Key to Castle, which is how to buy your dream home. And that just might be in Florida, might be in Arizona, regardless, we like to focus in the US. So how to buy your dream home much faster and for a lot less money out of your own pocket than you probably ever thought was possible. And so yesterday we launched that program. It's the very first time I'm delivering it. I'm delivering it live. So that was a huge success. And I'm so glad there's some people on the call today who were there yesterday and they loved it. Maybe you want to chime in the chat to see how you thought of that first call together. As I mentioned, all of us are now on YouTube. So that's super exciting. Jakey's Real Estate Partners. And that's the collection. We are revealing 2 deal reveals per week. We're catching up since the beginning. So you're getting the one live that we're doing right now, week by week. And on the Tuesday, we're kind of doing like not a rollback, but like a flashback Tuesday, where we're showing one of the earlier ones, and we're releasing 2 a week for you, so you can get all the deals you can ever dream of. So we're getting exciting for so many reasons. We're getting excited for so many reasons, but ultimately these deal reveals are to do what? To look at deals lightning fast, so that you can ultimately get some cash flow and invest when and where the numbers make sense. So today's deal was submitted by Joshua. So thank you, Joshua, for submitting this one. And I want to remind you all that this could be your deal next week. These are always deals that are submitted by the community. Send as much or as little as you want, and I'll go through it. We'll crunch some numbers, and we'll maybe put an offer, right? That's how quick it can be. So let's jump in. We have, thank you, Theodora, appreciate that comment in the chat. So let's jump in. So we have a property in Lakeland, Florida, and let's go see what this is about. Remember, your job is to say at any point if this is a deal or no deal for you. And for some reason, the slide is not clicking, so we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. So first, we go put in our address, and we're gonna go see what this deal is about. So let me put it in, and I'm gonna go straight to Zillow this time. So it's a 4-bed, 2-bath home. So we're definitely in residential real estate territory, 1 to 4 units. And so the value is based on comparable sales. And my goodness, is it possible that it's sold or it's back on the market? Why am I getting this? This is a recent deal. No, I got a confirmation. This is an off-market deal. It looks like it sold in May, so a month ago, for $445,000, and It's back on the market for 416 right now. It's an off-market deal. So that's interesting. I'd like to know the story behind that. And the Zestimate says it's worth 455. So there might be some discount at purchase built into this deal. That could be very interesting. If you wanted to go deeper into your comps, you can definitely look at other properties that sold that are 4.2s with similar square footage nearby. And here we have a 4.2 for 405,000, 395, 290. So it's interesting that the comps that they're pulling here are lower than the Zestimate. And the Zestimate's actually higher than what it sold for, but nonetheless, this is an opinion of value. And there's some indication here that at 416, was it? Yeah, 416, there would be a discount at purchase, which is always a nice thing, especially in a hot market like we've been in. Now, interest rates have continued to rise, even very, very recently this week. They continue to rise. And so what's that going to do? That's going to cool down the market. A lot of investors are going to hold back because cash flow margins are becoming thinner, because they're a little worried if rates continue to go up and they're thinking about getting involved in variable mortgages, or if they think the fixed mortgages rates are just too high. For a lot of reasons, there are going to be less buyers if it continues to go the way it's going. And what's that going to do? It's going to create opportunity because there's going to be less competition from the buyer side. So there'll be less bidding wars. Yes, prices and financing will be more expensive, but don't forget, we are not just the typical buy traditional real estate investors. So we jump in, there's going to be less competition, and this is an opportunity to create deals because it's less of a seller's market and more of a buyer's market. And eventually there might be some market correction, price drops, and we'll see where the market goes. But ultimately what I'm saying here is that this increase in rates is an opportunity for you to get some good deals because we're less in a seller's market. That's the takeaway here. So maybe it's begun, maybe it's started. We have a property here that seems to be at first glance selling under market value. Now you're looking at this, and this is a single family home for 400,000 basically. And so you might be thinking, well, how do I make cash flow on that? Because if I have a $416,000 home, well, the 1% rule basically says you better be making over $4,000 a month in rent so that this thing is cash flowing, okay? And I'm sure if you go on Renter Meter, I'm pretty sure this home is not going to be at 4,000 rent. There's not that many homes out there, and this is nothing too spectacular of a home. So I think that's out of the question for long-term rents. But you've been part of the Deal Reveal probably for a couple of weeks now, and you've been seeing, and the Key to Castle is also a program around short-term rentals. And so how can we perhaps include short-term rentals in our investment strategy? And that brings us to, well, how much can we earn on this property from a short-term rentals perspective? And so there's a website called airdna.co, and it's a data software company, and it's plugged into Airbnb and VRBO and all those short-term rental sites, and it pulls data, it collects data. And even without paying for the full scope of data, you can go here once you log in to the Rentalizer tab, put in the address, make sure it's the right one you're looking at. Remember, it's a 4.2, right? So here it pulled it up as a 3.2, okay? And this is the type of revenues it's coming in at. But if it really is a 4.2, make sure you're correcting that. And at least put twice the number of bedrooms as your number of guests. And we'll see here that we have annual revenue of 48,000. Well, that's about 4,000 a month, isn't it? We have on average when this property is booked about $200 and a fairly strong occupancy rate at 67%. These are market averages. So we have here a property selling for 400 and change, which could generate 48,000 on average. So if you just bought this and pretty much slapped it on Airbnb and VRBO, this is kind of what you'd expect if you didn't do anything really special to the property and you didn't have excellent management. If you're just average and you just go in, that's kind of what you expect. If you pay for the data on this website, you have access to market comparison and top properties. And you might be thinking, yes, but how are the top properties in this area performing? And maybe they're generating 100,000 a year, right? I don't know, though this data is locked. But as an average, if you just wanted to buy it and be done with it, 48,000. And this is gross, right? So we have 48,000 a year. And just like when we were doing long-term rentals, we'd use the 50% rule. We're going to use the 50% rule. Again, why is it pretty much the same? Yes, income is higher than long-term rents, but expenses are higher too. There's the management cost, there's the utilities, there's the cleanings between guests. And so everything pretty much boils back down to a 50%, even of the higher income. So this property seems to be able to generate about $24,000 a year NOI. And so if you did buy this property cash, it would generate $24,000 a year, and it would cost $416,000 to buy. So NOI divided by purchase price gives you a cap rate, which is how strong your cash is being invested at if you bought it cash. And so we are here at a 5.8% cap rate. Let me just put it back on a percentage for you. 5.8% cap. So this is pretty much the opportunity we're looking at right now. It's a property in Florida, in Lakeland. This might be your dream neighborhood, I don't know. And you have a 4.2. It appears to be slightly under market value. And from a cap rate or a cash flow perspective, we're at almost a 6 cap. So let me know, is this a deal or no deal for you? So this is your time to get in there. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate the love. Hey, Michael, nice to have you. Sandra says no deal. Michael, no deal. All right. Lori, no deal. Right? Not strong enough cash flow, I imagine. But that doesn't mean there isn't a deal hidden in this property, though. We haven't negotiated. We haven't seen what the seller wants and needs. Sterling, no deal. Mark, no deal. Smith, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, no deal. Needs a deeper dive, Mike Nicholson says. Absolutely, I would agree with that. We've already spent 5 minutes looking at the deal. It's worth a call to see what the real story is about. Yes, short-term rental, Michael. Theodora says it could be. So thank you everyone for your feedback and your interaction here. Always fun. So if, for example, Lakeland was where you wanted to buy your castle, well, you are probably going to be buying the AirDNA data, and you could go in there and do some market comparisons, and you can look at the top performing properties to see how much they're making and what would you need to do to stand out to be part of those top 10% or that top 1% of properties in that area. Because there are some properties, I guarantee, in this area that are making close to $100,000. So what are they doing? And can this property mimic what the others are doing? If the property was making $100,000 a year, might change the numbers. Let's just run real quick the numbers because we're basically done with this deal reveal. That's how quick it could be to make your decision. But let's say it did make $100,000 a year. All right. We would have 50,000 NOI, and these are real quick trick numbers, right? It might be 55, might be 60, it might be 48, but we're right in this ballpark, and we buy it for 416,000. But we might need to spend a little bit to get it to the top 10%, wouldn't we? We might need better furniture. We might need to do some kind of theme, bring in extra amenities. So let's say we put in, I don't know, 50,000 to spruce it up, to get it up to the top 10%. I know I'm just spitballing numbers, but the idea here is to get to the top 10%, you most likely will have to do something to improve it. And so now, even injecting an extra 50,000 to spruce it up, we're now looking at an 11 cap, 10.7 cap here. Let me just put it back for you. 10.7 or 11 cap. Maybe this is easily within reach. And now, if this was the case, is this a deal or no deal based on these numbers? We're buying at a discount with a 10 or 11 cap rate in Lakeland, Florida. Would this be a deal or no deal for you? Does that change things for it? It does. Look at that. Now the deals are coming in. The deals are coming in. And how will you know, right? Well, we do need to make contact, pick up the phone, see what the seller, see what the deal could be. And then it's all about the data to see how the top performing properties are doing. So that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. That is our deal reveal in Lakeland, Florida. And another important note here is that this is an off-market property. This is not a property that's represented on market with a realtor. This was sourced from the community off market, and this is going to happen more and more often as rates increase. Sellers are going to want to try to sell, and the market is going to cool down. And so more and more off-market deals are going to become available, and that's what we want. As whenever we have the choice, go off-market rather than on market. And Sandra, you're absolutely right. This is assuming we pay asking price, which may not be the case at all. But yes, how was this offer found? So the gatekeeper found the deal, right? The person who's probably local to Lakeland is paying for marketing, is sourcing deals, and then sent it out to their mailer list of investors, which Joshua, apologies, happened to be a part of. And so that's how it found its way here. And voila, that's our deal reveal for today. And last little announcement, I want to tell you all, remind you that it's really soon. Our upcoming virtual bus tour is not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And we are going to be revealing 2 community members' properties in Florida who have taken the leap during our last tour and have gone all the way to make their properties in the top 10% of listings near Disney and Universal Studios. And of course, our very own Magical Muggles Mansion, which went live. We already have our first 4 bookings, and the last one that came in, $700 a night, and we do not even have any professional pictures up yet. There's a couple of just haphazard pictures, and we're already getting $700 a night booking. So the launch is successful. The reviews, we already have 2 reviews that are publicly listed now. And so the catapult, the springboard, the rocket has liftoff. And I'm going to keep you posted about this, our Magical Muggles Mansion, probably for the next year, because to show you it's not just now, but over time, it continues to have great results. And so we hope for you to join if you'd like. It's jkprograms.club/bus tour. That's how you secure your spot. We will be focusing Florida, Orlando, proximity to Disney, and 1 secret market in Florida as well. We will be discussing a secondary but very strong short-term rental market as well in Florida for you. So it's not just in this area that you have to do it or it works. There are other markets as well. So if your castle happens to be outside of the Disney radius, no problem. We got you covered as well. So that's what we have. Can't wait. Congrats on the bookings. Thank you. Ohio greetings from Indira. Nice to have you here, Indira. And Mark has all the stars in his eyes. So fantastic. Thank you so much. That was our deal reveal for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As always, you can get a hold of us, send us an email, some of your deals, and do now for tomorrow. Take care.